Hello, beautiful humans. My name is Hannah Willow. I'm an author, a teacher, and slightly unusually, Scotland's tree-hugging champion, which means that at some point in my life, I hugged a tree so enthusiastically that someone gave me a trophy. Well, to be precise, a crown. That probably tells you something about me already. My life has taken me down some rather unexpected paths. If I introduce myself using labels, the list could get quite long. My name is Hannah Willow, but I've been known as Hannah Wilkins and Hannah Polland. I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a teacher, I'm an author and illustrator, I'm pansexual, I teach children's yoga, mindfulness and meditation, I'm very creative, I write, dance, paint and play the piano and ukulele, but very badly. I'm also very spiritual, a little witchy and pagan. I see nature as my church, but I still like to ask the question, what would Jesus do? All of these are labels that describe different parts of my life, and labels can be helpful. They give us a way to explain who we are and where we belong. But sometimes, labels can also make us feel like we need to fit neatly inside a box. And the truth is, human beings are far too complex and magical to fit neatly into boxes. If you strip away all the labels we give ourselves, the names, the roles, the identities, something deeper remains. What I believe is that underneath everything, each of us is a soul having a human experience, a cosmic soul in a body made from earth and stardust. And at our core, the thing that connects every single one of us is love. Now, let's talk about rainbows for a moment. Most of us think of a rainbow as a half circle in the sky, that beautiful arc of colours that appears after the rain. But something many people don't realise is that a rainbow is actually a full circle. We usually only see part of it from the ground. But if you see a rainbow from the sky, from an aeroplane or maybe from the wings of an eagle, you can see an entire circle. I love that idea, because sometimes we only see part of the picture depending on our perspective, whether that's a rainbow or a person. Rainbows have always been special to me. They symbolize hope. They remind us that even after the darkest storms, when sunlight meets rain, something beautiful can appear. But rainbows are also beautiful because of their differences. Each color is completely different from the next, and yet together they create something extraordinary. Without those differences, there would be no rainbow, and people are a bit like that too. When I was growing up, I was raised in a very religious Mormon household, and there were parts of myself that I felt I had to hide, particularly around my sexuality. When we feel like parts of who we are might not be accepted, it can make us feel like maybe we don't belong. But one of the things life teaches us, often slowly and sometimes through difficult experiences, is that belonging doesn't come from changing who we are. It comes from learning to accept who we are. Life, in many ways, is a bit like what storytellers call the hero's journey. In great stories, the hero sets out into the unknown. They face challenges, they meet friends along the way, they learn things about themselves, and sometimes they get lost. And eventually they discover something important about who they truly are. Every one of us is on our own version of that journey. Sometimes we question things we once believed. Sometimes we discover new parts of ourselves. And that's not failure, that's adventure. The story I wrote, The Child with No Name, actually came to me during one of the stormiest periods of my life. A time when many things were changing and I was asking big questions about who I was and what truly mattered. The child in the story goes on a journey to discover who they are, and along the way they meet people they can help. Through those acts of kindness, they begin to understand their place in the world, because sometimes the way we discover ourselves is through kindness. I also believe the heart is like a compass. If we learn to listen to it, beneath all the noise and expectations of the world, it quietly guides us towards our most authentic selves. People sometimes fear what they don't understand, things that are different, unusual, outside what society calls normal. But I believe the world becomes far more beautiful when people are brave enough to be themselves. Honestly, the weirder, the better. So, if there's one thing I hope you take away from this video, it's this. Your life is a journey. You're allowed to grow, you're allowed to change, you're allowed to discover new parts of yourself over time. No one else gets to decide who you become. Your heart will guide you there. And just like the rainbow, the things that make us different are often the very things that make the world more beautiful. Because beneath every identity, every label, every story we tell about ourselves, we are love. We are light, wrapped up in this strange and wonderful human experience. And I believe that one day we'll all return to love too. So, wherever your journey takes you, I hope you have the courage to follow your heart and let your true colours shine, because the world needs your unique colour in the rainbow of life. Thank you for listening.